Hi guys, Jillian here. Welcome back to Go Without Grace. If you're new here, we're focusing on helping you heal and build the better you after experiencing domestic violence and trauma. Today, I promised you a video on how I make my water kefir and kombucha, helping to reduce the negative side effects of stress on our bodies. If you are experiencing fatigue, irritability, anxiety, depression, weight fluctuation, then stick with me while I show you how I make my kefir and kombucha. Timestamps will be in the description so you don't have to waste your time trying to see where you are or get to the information that you need. I will also have links in the description to the products that I use. So the 2 mason jars on the left are water kefir and the 4 swing tops on the right are kombucha. It's safest to make sure you are using bottles that have been pressure tested and are rated to withstand kefir and kombucha processes. The swing tops are from Amazon and are rated to handle the pressure on the glass for this process. Many kefir and kombucha home brewers, as well as myself, reuse their Grolsch beer bottles and store-bought kombucha bottles to do their second ferments in. I have links to the best use bottles in the description. Dishwashing soaps like Dawn can kill cultures, so it's best to clean your used bottles with hot water or distilled white vinegar. I'm continually brewing and I don't drink out of my bottles, so I just rinse them with hot water and basically immediately fill them with a new batch. If it's going to be a while before I get back to them, I rinse well with hot water and let them dry thoroughly, storing without the cap on. Then, right before I use them, I pour distilled white vinegar in them and give them a good shake. I end up pouring the vinegar from one bottle to the next to help my products last as long as I possibly can. Says the girl letting the water just run and run in the background. Ugh. To start your first ever batch of water kefir, my personal way, you will need a 1/4 cup of water kefir grains, a pinch of Celtic sea salt, 1 tablespoon unsulfurated blackstrap molasses, a 1/4 cup organic cane sugar, a quart spring water, a lemon, a prune, 1 quart mason jar, and a tea towel. I fill a quart jar about half full with the spring water. Then I add a 1/4 cup of organic cane sugar, 1 tablespoon unsulfured blackstrap molasses, a pinch of Celtic sea salt, and mix it well until it's completely dissolved. Once dissolved, I add more spring water to fill just below the neck and give it a good stir. Here is where you will then add your grains and any liquid that they may have arrived in to the mason jar. Top each jar with a slice of lemon. I pre-wash the uncut lemon with distilled vinegar and drop in your dried fig, or in my case, a prune. The lemon is to help stave off comm yeast, which is no big deal if it grows and won't damage your grains or product. You'll simply scoop it out and continue on your day. The prune is more nutrients and sugars for your grains to snack on. Yum, yum, little babies. Cover your mason jar with a breathable dish towel. Hold it down with a rubber band for a tight seal. The goal here is for air to get to the kefir, but contaminants like tiny fruit flies cannot eke through any opening. And now we wait. Store your jars in room temperature anywhere in your home. They prefer to not be in direct sunlight and prefer quiet. Kefir is generally ready after the grains have had 48 hours to eat those sugars and turn them into all those beneficial nutrients. After 48 hours, it's time for you to start your second ferment on the liquid called the F2. F2 is not mandatory. Your kefir is ready to drink now if you want. If you want flavor to it, you'll need to do a second ferment. So, how do we prepare the F2 and get our grains ready for another F1? First thing you will want to do is to prepare your flavors. When I first started, I was researching recipes and measuring. Now it's a handful of this and a pinch of that from what is in my fridge, spice rack, and garden. Don't stress here. It won't do any damage to your product if there is too little or too much. You'll either like it or not like it and do it again or not do it again. Today, I'm using mason jars for my F2, but you will be using your pressure-tested bottles. I'm doing pureed blueberry and ginger in one container and green grapes and Korean red chili pepper flakes, gochugaru, in another. I was also making kombucha this day, and the flavoring and bottling process is the same. So you can see other options, maybe herbs, fruits, either chopped or pureed, juices like lemonade, jams, and spices. A lot of people recommend buying the frozen fruit and pureeing it. This does make it easier to get the fruit in your bottles with smaller openings, and you won't be fighting with a piece of fruit that doesn't want to come out later. You can even just pour fruit juice in to flavor as well. I like using the fruit pieces chopped to fit into the bottle's opening because I don't strain before I drink it, and I enjoy noshing on the fruit bits that pour into my glass. But if you want just the liquid, strain away after the F2. Even if the fruits fit in the opening, like a blueberry, you'll want to cut the whole fruit in half so that the kefir grains can easily eat the delicious insides and have access to more surface area. Again, I don't measure. I say plan on a quarter cup of liquid or berries in each bottle to start, and then you can edit from there with less or more, or follow one of the many amazing recipes that you can find online. After I've prepared my bottles, I go ahead and get the new sugar water ready for the grains. This is done by repeating the same sugar water you prepped for the very first batch with spring water, unsulfured blackstrap molasses, cane sugar, and Celtic salt. Prepare as much as you have grains. I have 2 1-quart jars with each a quarter cup of grains, so I prepared 2 quarts of replacement liquid. You'll need to toss the lemon and now floating prune in the bin. Next, use a strainer and funnel to pour off the liquid from your F1 into your bottles. Your strainer needs to be a stainless steel, plastic, or rubber strainer. You cannot use any other metal than stainless steel on Water Kefir grains. In this video, I'm using a great stainless steel funnel that has the strainer built in. Any grains that the strainer catches can just be knocked back into the jar. When I first started, my bottle kit came with 2 rubber funnels, and I just put a cheesecloth over the top to catch any grains that poured out. Once you've strained out all of the F1, you'll then replace the liquid with your newly prepared sugar water. Again, top each jar with a slice of lemon and a prune, and put your cloths back on your jars. So, seal up all of your finished bottles. If you want, you can label the jars with a chalk marker. Every time I label my bottles, and every time I manage to smudge the marker off before I drink them. I never know what in the heck I am drinking, and that is fine for me because I am that consumer that purchases the mystery flavor products. It is me. I let the F2 sit for another 24 to 48 hours and drink them. Very important information here. The F2 is continuing to ferment until you place them in the fridge, and even then it is just a slower ferment. Gases build up in these bottles. The first time you open one, I recommend doing it outside. Put the bottle in a bowl to save flowing liquid and a tea towel over the top, and then slowly release the top. Once you gauge firsthand the pressure in some of these bottles, you will know how best to open them for yourself. Putting your bottles in the fridge for the F2 or in enough time to chill before you drink it will drastically cut down on the pressure in the bottle. If you are not going to drink your kefir the next day, you'll want to make sure that you are burping or letting the gases out at least once a day. The first bottle of blueberry water kefir I opened is still living in infamy on the ceiling of my parents' kitchen. Anyway, that's the long and short of it. If you want to continue on to kombucha making, you'll want to click the link in the description. As always, let me know how it went for you. I hope this helps in taking back your health on your journey to healing and your new you. See you in the next video, and don't forget to subscribe and like.